All right, Robo Jox is the movie. That's
Robot Jox.
Jox. I
Robot
said Robo Jox.
Jocks.
Robot
Robo Jocks.
Jox.
Robo Jocks
Yeah.
actually probably a better title.
The world has been split into two major superpowers, which wage war with one another in single combat, utilizing giant human-operated robots in Robot Jox.
I want to say that I had a VHS cassette, which maybe was like RoboCop 2, and there's a trailer on it for Robot Jox. And
Okay.
so I had never actually seen the movie, but I'd seen the trailer a bunch of times because of that.
Mm-hmm.
For those old enough to remember VHS cassettes. So I wanted to actually see it now and see is it a good bad movie or just a bad movie? Because honestly, just from the trailer, I'm not gonna say this could be just a good movie. Um, so Robot Jox is set in the future, kind of a post-apocalyptic time, and where countries as the world as we know it has fractured into different territories or countries, and now instead of battling it out with nukes, they settle their scores with these giant robots that are
Mm-hmm.
manned by a single operator. And so they duke it out, and whoever wins the battle, I guess, wins whatever the beef is about at
Yeah.
that time.
It's
Is
like I
that
think
that's
oh yeah, it's like I think there's an opening crawl or something that says war has been outlawed and
mhm.
all territorial disputes are now settled by giant robots fighting each other, and
Yeah, it's
it's like the the Russian or the Europeans, they want Alaska, and so the North and South American region is going to battle over it for
yeah.
Alaska, whoever gets it.
I couldn't tell you, having watched the movie now, how the world has been oriented, but it doesn't matter, right? It's basically like the US versus Russia, right? Cuz this
Yes,
is, around, well,
1989.
yeah, this it's still kind of the Cold War era of movie making, I guess. But so there's nothing more to this movie other than really, big robots fighting it out. And to some people who like, Pacific Rim and those kinds of movies, I think they might kind of enjoy seeing a movie like this, right?
Where it's
Um,
all model work. Um,
yeah, and that was one of the things that I enjoyed about the movie was the fact that it was, it just missed the mark on early CGI, and so what you're seeing is all, stop motion robots and miniatures and matte paintings and,
there's probably some
optical
comp work.
compositing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
optically.
yep.
But I found it refreshing in my age now because, right, everything now is just CGI, and
Hmm.
it's almost like we live in a postmodern CGI world, right? Because it's it's we Hollywood big budget Hollywood movies now use so much CGI that we've kind of it's almost like we've gone over the mark, right, of really great visual effects to now where you get like a mixed bag of great work and really shoddy work because they're rushing to release the movie and they've changed the ending 3 times
Yep.
and done a bunch of reshoots, right? I'm thinking of like the Marvel movies, especially recently, have come off
Hmm.
that way to me, where they spend $300 million and a lot of the CGI looks like crap.
Right. And it's like some of it looks amazing, and then some of it is like, why does this look so bad? If Iron Man can
Yeah.
look so good, photorealistic, why can't this scene be as? And it's just the money. It's
Mhm.
how much money you're going to spend. And if you're already spending $250 million, like, are you going to spend another $15 million to get a couple of more scenes, even better. And like,
Mhm.
but yeah,
I
like,
know that people who have been raised on CGI only, right, would probably not understand my nostalgia for the traditional effects.
mhm,
Um, but I just think that's so neat. Before having a computer, people had to figure out ways how to do things, right? And just, painting or very realistic matte painting on glass and shooting it with, the camera that is very clever, right? And
right.
they did it that way for decades, right? So I really appreciated that. Um, Especially now since on YouTube and everything, anyone could just can use After Effects or whatever and do their own shoddy CGI or whatever. So the fact that somebody can take the time now, and I have seen this on YouTube, I don't know if you have, of people kind of purposely using the old time effects for their videos
Hmm.
for the same reason of, they're sick of CGI.
Right. Yeah. And
Having said that,
yeah.
having said that, I think the cinematography in this movie sucked.
Oh God. Yeah. It's
It
not a
was,
good looking
it
movie.
was, it was very flat and high key, right? And
Yes.
made it cheap, and the sets look like they're, cardboard or just,
Oh, there's a
you
sequence
know,
where the main character, Achilles, character's name,
yeah.
yeah,
He was, I
he
don't
gets
know.
beaten up by his love interest slash coworker, and like
Yeah.
she puts him through a wall in his apartment, and it's like it looks like it's supposed to be metal, and he just goes right through
Yeah,
it.
plywood sets, right?
Yeah.
And plastic and plywood, and that's,
And it's fine. It looks
uh
good. Just don't put your actor through it because it's like, oh, he'd be dead.
I have two things to say about that. One is the main actor, I don't know, he's just some, I got the feeling he was just some Canadian guy or whatever. He reminded me of Scott Glenn, the actor.
Oh, young
Did
Scott
that?
Glenn, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
And
God.
I wish it had been Scott Glenn, right?
Oh,
Because it would have elevated the movie.
it was Gary Graham.
um, yeah. Who,
I'm
whatever.
looking up Gary Graham.
Some. I like that scene though that you mentioned where the heroine Athena beats him up. She tranks him and beats him up in order to take his spot in the robot, right? And I actually like that, um, because you mentioned off camera, the misogyny in the movie,
Right off the bat.
and yeah, uh, for those who haven't seen the movie, they're now breeding these
Super
male
soldiers.
and female, yeah, super soldiers in order to be the Robot Jox and to take over that role. Whereas Achilles and Tex or whatever his name was
Yeah, Tex.
represent even the villain. They're the older guard of just, I don't know. They learned how to pilot these robots,
Right.
and they do it with instinct and gut and grit, right? So Athena is one of these super soldiers, and I liked her. I liked her character, despite despite the gender politics or whatever. You know, the fact that she beats him up and tranks him. I thought that,
And takes
you
his
know,
helmet and fights for him.
yeah, and pretends to be him.
Yeah.
That was it was you know it was plucky of her, right?
Yeah,
Right?
but then of
It
course
was,
she fails
well,
and she has
yeah,
to be saved
of,
by the
of course.
misogynistic main character. It's like his opening scene. He's he's his misogyny is just so strong. It's like, what are we
Right.
supposed to like this guy? It's movie came out, or I guess was made in 1989, released in 1990, and you'd think the writer, directors, and the producers would be like, oh, maybe we should make him a little more likable.
But does he win you over in the end or not?
Yes, he does win me
because
over. He does.
he saves her. He saves her. I don't know if he's gonna give her the respect, but he saves her and he saves the
And
day.
he
But he,
quits, like he has, it's like every robot jock, they have to do 20 fights and then they can retire. And his 20th fight ends in kind of a draw. And his basically his robot, his giant, 60-foot tall robot falls backwards and lands in the stands with the with the fans and kills, I don't know, hundreds of people. And he's like, it's the low point. It's a good low point. He's like, that's my 20th battle. I'm done. And everyone kind of, all the other robot jocks look down on him suddenly because it's like, oh, this guy was the hero and now he's just quitting. And the last battle was a draw and so it doesn't really count. And I liked her. I quit. And he goes home to live with his brother and his brother's family. And so from that, and then going back, because he realizes that Athena's gonna fight his nemesis and that she might die. And even though he's been a dick to her, he goes back because he doesn't want her to die. And then she doesn't understand that, so she beats him up. And then, she fails and he has to save the day. But so I saw this movie on VHS in probably 1990. And I remember the last battle between our main character and the villain as being like a space battle, because they do fly into space and then immediately crash back land down to the earth. Like, I remembered it completely different. I remembered it being much cooler than it was.
I like though. Let me tell you some things I like. Uh, when he uses his flying car to escape because he's locked in his room or
Oh,
whatever.
right. Yeah. To crash.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was inspired just because otherwise it's just a very fake looking flying car,
Right.
But the fact that he uses it in that moment, it has another purpose. I like that.
And I like the effect. Like,
And
they put a fake flying car through a wall,
um, there's a part where the robots are fighting, and one of them has this move where it's the repeating punch. The fist just goes. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It just goes. Duh,
Yeah.
duh, duh. And I remember I think it's the Avengers Age of Ultron. They use they use it, or they stole
Oh,
that
Iron
idea.
Man against the Hulk. It's
Yeah,
like a pneumatic drill punching. Yeah.
right. So I wouldn't be surprised if like Joss Whedon, had seen this movie and got the idea from that.
Yeah.
And then I like when Tex, the surprise villain Tex, that actually surprised me. I don't know. Well, you already knew,
Right.
right? But that he was the turncoat. But when he just does his Geronimo,
He just kills
suicidal
himself.
jump.
It's so crazy. I didn't remember that. Like, so there's basically there's been a spy in the American Robot Jox, and the camera the filmmakers make you think it's the chief techie guy, this Japanese American character, and you think it's going to be him, and oh no, it's Tex. It's our main character's best friend, and the guy he looks up to. And then he gets outed. Tex gets outed as the spy, and he just throws himself off the building. Like that. That I didn't remember that. That surprised me. I thought he was going to, jump into a big. I thought he was either going to jump into a robot and try to escape and have a fight with Achilles, or he'd pull a gun out and get shot. But no, he just literally just kills himself.
Yeah,
It's
actually,
choice.
since you mentioned that, that would have been a much better ending if he had jumped into his own robot, and then the ending would have had the three people, the Russian, the US guy, and now this guy who's just gone crazy, and he's just fighting anyone,
Yeah.
right? And smashing up buildings and stuff. And so and I don't know, maybe it would even have to be that Achilles and Alexander, the
Oh yeah,
villain, have to
Alexander.
team up to take Tex down, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Because the way that the movie ends,
So
spoiler alert,
unsatisfying. So unsatisfying.
it's just they like reach a stalemate that ends like in peace, right?
Yes.
Do you remember the line? I don't, but it was something really cheesy. It's just like Achilles is like, "Hey man, we don't have to do this. Let's be bros."
And they do this like they have this like all the robot jocks do this cool like the fist bump with the with the thumbs up. No, it's like the whole
And
movie.
Alexander,
Alexander like has been killing, or at least in the opening scene,
yeah,
he kills one of Achilles' friends, and Alexander's been smack talking at the Robot Jox bar, Achilles, and I'm gonna kill you, and all this stuff, and he tries to kill him throughout the entire last action sequence. And they basically both robots get broken, and the two men get out of their robots, and they're gonna fight. And then Achilles is like, "No, we can have peace."
and he just
And he's
goes
like, "All
for it.
right,
Yeah.
world peace it is."
Yeah, yeah, Tyga. Like one of the quickest turnarounds in cinematic
Yes,
history.
from like ultimate villain to friend. That's why, yeah, if Tex had been the actual villain and Achilles and Alexander had to take him out. Because, okay, think about this. If Tex smashes mission control for the American Robot Jocks, no one will know. If he kills everybody, no one will know that he's the spy. And if he also kills the Russian uh, headquarters for their robot, then no one will know, no one will be alive that he was a Russian spy. So he could just, all he has to do is kill everyone that knows. And so if the two
Yeah.
sides then came together to stop him from just wreaking havoc, that probably would have been a stronger ending. But yeah, this is a bad
He
movie that is not a good bad movie.
he all right. Well, he could have Tex could have just been, you know, like a Joker type character who's trying to initiate a nuclear war
That's
again or
true.
something like
Yes.
that, you know? That would have been better. But okay, so it's your verdict is it's
It's
just
a
a
bad
bad
movie.
movie.
It's a bad movie. But
Yeah.
so what?
So I would so for me I would go with good
Oh.
bad because I was right first time I'd
Mhm.
seen it, I was
All
entertained by
right.
it, and I'd rather if I had to watch this movie again, I'd gladly watch it over a lot of other bad movies out there.
When
Let me just make
how long
yeah.
would you need to go to see it again? Like, would you see it again next year? Like in 12 months? No, right?
Probably
It can't be
not.
okay.
No, a few years down the line.
Right.
But one thing I wanted to mention was it's directed by Stuart Gordon,
Okay.
and he's the director of The Reanimator,
Oh.
that is a good movie. Some people might say that's a good bad movie
Yeah,
because
good bad movie.
it's kind of cheesy horror
I haven't
movie,
seen it in 15 years though.
Uh, oh, you should
Yeah.
rewatch. It's good. It's funny.
Gory.
It's kind of a little
Definitely
crazy.
crazy.
It's much better than this movie. Um, and is a cult classic for a
Yes.
reason. Um, but interesting that so if you compare that movie with this movie, same director, I guess we could say this was Stuart Gordon's attempt to go more mainstream,
Yes, definitely.
and it didn't work.
I wonder if it
But
came out in the theater or if it
so
just was on the Blockbuster.
well, so it was made in '89 but delayed till '90 because the company went bankrupt. Um, The internet claims it has somewhat of a following. I don't know if that's true because I never really hear of it
Robot Jox.
in film circles. Yeah. Uh. Anyway, if all of our talk though of this movie puts you off, then I would say check out The Reanimator instead
Yeah, and
because
what
that is
it's a
good.
90-minute movie. The
Mm.
a lot of the special effects are pretty cool. The stop motion. And yeah, but yeah, the misogyny right off the bat for the main character. So weird. Such a weird choice.
Robot
Robot
Jox.
Jocks.
If you dare, give
If
it
you
a
dare.
watch.